Okay. Simplifying difficult exponents. Okay. So to simplify something doesn't mean you're solving it. You're just trying to put it in the simplest form possible, right? So let's go through all of the like terms in this question. Okay. First of all, what's one term that we consider like terms? What are one of these variables? Which is a variable in this question? Yeah. So name one of them. F. Okay. So we know that all of our F's are technically like terms. So we can do stuff with those three. We can simplify those into one F, right? What other one do we have? G, yeah. Yeah. And anything else? The numbers, they're called the coefficients, and technically we can simplify those coefficients, okay? So keep that in mind. We've color-coded it so that we know that I work with just the F's, G's, and the coefficients together with each other, okay? Now we're going to simplify this question. Perfect. This kind of looks like a variable when it's written in this stuff, so instead we're going to replace it with just brackets so that we know that it's multiplication. Are you okay with that? Okay. So let's just kind of put brackets around that and get rid of that x. Yeah. So do you want to work with the... yeah. So let's actually focus on just the top and then the bottom. Okay, so we'll focus on just simplifying the top of this. So yeah, that's the very first step. 3 times 8. What does that give us? Okay, you got that part. 24. Okay. What's next? What's the next like term beside it? Yeah. Okay. That technically has a 1. Excellent. And what would you do with those? All right. You add them together, and what would you get? F to the power of 5, that's right. And then what's left? G, yep. G to the power of 7. Excellent. Okay, good. So we've done the top part. Now the bottom part, I'm going to show you how you can rewrite this simpler. Because this is all to the power of 2, there are 2 ways we can do this. Yes, you can decide to bring this in and multiply every exponent in there by the 2, or if that confuses you, so or you can do this: 6f2g3 times 6f2g3, and it becomes a multiplication rule again because it's the exact same thing. Okay?
Yeah, but that one's so much more.
Yeah, and if this one seems like more work, don't do this version. But if this confuses you, bringing the power in and distributing it, then just do that. Because remember, this is to the power of 2, so it means it's the base times the base twice. Okay, so either one works for you. Okay, so let's simplify the bottom. What does the bottom become? Because technically this is 6 to the power of 1, okay, we bring this exponent in. So I'm not going to, I just want to bring the exponent in. So that becomes 6 to the power of what? Okay, so 6 to the power of, you can't really see that, can you? Okay, 6 to the power of 2. We'll do the constant terms in black, okay? What does the f become? Yeah, and then, excellent, you got it ready. Now, we can do some more simplifying before we go through this. Technically, we should figure out this here, 6 to the power of 2. What is that? Do you know off the top of your head? I'm going to rewrite these. You don't? Okay, what about 6 times 6? Do you know what that is?
36.
That's 6 to the power of 2. You got it. Right? Just always rephrase the question. So we have 36, and then we have f to the power of 4, and g to the power of 6. Okay, so what's the last thing we do here? And I'm going to look at the constants last. First, I want to just focus on our f and our g. Okay? We'll talk about this part last, because that's technically division. Right? But let's do this. What's our f going to be? What's the rule with the f's? What do we do with those two exponents? Well, what does a fraction mean? What is this line here? Dividing. So when you're dividing. That's right.
That's why I got it wrong.
Okay, so what is that? 5 subtract 4 is? Yeah. G becomes? 1. Now, here's the tough part. If you divide that with a calculator, so we'll bring up our calculator. Yeah, it's going to be a decimal, right? 24 divided by 36. Obviously, we're not going to write that as a coefficient. So what's best is if we simplify and think of this as a separate fraction. Okay, so I'm going to write it as 24 over 36. How can we reduce that fraction? What can we divide it by? Let's work on reducing this fraction. Yeah, so let's divide the top and the bottom by 2. What does that become? Do you know what 24 divided by 2 is? Take a calculator and give it a try. I'm going to help you, okay? This is going to be that.
Yes.
And what's the bottom going to be?
Yeah.
Okay, now what? Can we reduce this farther?
Yeah.
What? 6 and what? What can we divide this by? Yeah, we can divide it by 2 again, so let's do that. And what's that going to give us? Okay, can we divide those? By?
2 or 3.
3, yeah? What will that give us?
2.
6 divided by 3 is 2 over. Can I go any farther?
No. Wait, no.
No. So we get 2 over 3
Yeah.
F G.
Jeez.
Does that make sense?
No.